There have been a number of cases where there have been cyber criminals attacking various kinds of systems. And obviously, we can't answer about exactly how well protected the various exchanges are, because they're not going to tell the world about that, because that just makes it that much easier for the cyber criminals to get around that. Having spent 18 years at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and knowing how careful they have been about so many different things, I really have no doubt that they have not spent a tremendous amount of time on this, and that they have really done a good job to protect against it. I can't, we have, in the U.S., for example, we have exchanges of different size. There's some tiny, tiny regional exchanges. I don't know the extent to which they've taken the proper actions, but at the same time, they are much less a target than the big guys. First of all, it is possible that some things have happened, but again, they would not have necessarily been reported if they did not have any sort of visible effect. The second part of that is regarding something sitting there and waiting. Again, the largest exchanges have incredible IT staff who are thinking about all of these things all the time, and I have serious doubts that we will, in fact, I would be willing to bet $100 that we will not see cyber attacks, successful cyber attacks, at any of the major derivatives or stock exchanges around the world. That's based upon my experience of living inside of one of the major exchanges, the CME, for 18 years. I know the kinds of care that we took to protect against all kinds of things, even when the rest of the world wasn't even thinking about them. And so I don't have any inside information, and I don't think anybody that you'll be talking to today has any inside information on what the exchanges are actually doing, or the people from the exchanges are not going to tell you what they're doing. But based upon my experience, that's why I'm willing to bet the $100 that we will not see these kinds of attacks successful attacks. Not that they won't try. This issue of governments and exchanges knowing what traders are doing, what their algorithms are, absolutely has been an issue. In the U.S., at the extreme, one of the commissioners of the CFTC actually went so far as to say he felt that all algorithmic traders should have their algorithms inspected and certified. And I think even he eventually realized that that was a non-starter, that was crazy to do, because number one, you can't really get you can't get people who understand that how these things work to go out you can't hire enough of them, first of all, to go out and do all of that. And secondly, nobody is going to nobody will want to have a government inspector come in and learn their algorithms and then the next day go off and get a job or start their own trading system. So it gets a little bit more complex and subtle when we move to the issue of actually monitoring high-frequency trading as it's being done. And I know that there are some who argue that they can sort of reverse engineer and figure out what's happening. I'm actually not aware of cases in the derivatives market in the U.S. of where the government is coming in and doing that. Whether the exchanges are doing that themselves is something else. But again, I can't imagine that the exchanges themselves would reverse engineer to try and figure out. That would destroy their credibility. So I'm probably sounding a little Pollyannish about this, but I don't really see that as being a problem going forward.